more difficult to trace. But I think there are 7 sources. So one source is for sure the patterns of the founders. So which you can see easily in family businesses, how family businesses are just often just a replication of the founder itself or himself or herself. So patterns of the founders is one. Second is this moment or societal moment when the organization is founded. So for example, organizations that are founded in the middle of wars or in the middle of economical crisis or in the middle of earthquake, they might develop different kinds of patterns and ways of surviving than organizations that maybe are just founded in the middle of a peaceful period of prosperity. So the societal context is also very important. The third one is when organization is part of the larger organizational system, and it happens a lot with, for example, in acquisitions and also mergers. So actually, this is moments when patterns from a larger system are coming to the smaller system. It could be in teams or departments or parts. So basically, direction is from the larger to the smaller. That's a kind of typical. So of course, the fourth one is a survival response to organizational trauma to some events or long-lasting periods of exhaustion. So trauma doesn't have to be one huge event. It could be also a long-lasting period of exhausting. So to survive, organizational system develops certain patterns. The fifth one would be what we know from systemic work when the principles of healthy systems, of completeness, of order and balance are disturbed. Patterns are some kind of self-regulating mechanisms to that. Sixth is also the moments of joint learning. So there are moments when organizations in their past had moment of joint common learning how to solve certain problems, and this becomes a pattern. So basically this becomes like, this is the way we solve problems here. Because it was so successful before, we think the same way we can apply it to anything in the future. And then you're facing some challenges. And the seventh, which I think is important one, there are also patterns which are not only related to the past, but also patterns related to the potential. And I think they are parts of the system which always resonate with the potential. And you can see that in the bigger complex systems, so in the bigger organizations, that some parts of the organizations, like little teams here and there, they are doing something different. They are developing patterns which are different than the rest. And very often these teams are kind of working in the service of the organizational potential in a kind of showcasing or almost prototyping how this whole organization can be potentially in the future. So I think that's also an important piece. So when we look at the patterns, we just should not forget that also in the same time in the system, you might have the blocking patterns and you might have the thriving patterns. So you might have ones which are kind of more something that is related to the past and something that is more related to the future.